Hello everybody and welcome back to another blind commentary of Overlord Season 2. As per usual, outro time is there. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. There has been a lot of hype for this season, so I certainly hope that it will live up to the expectations that I have of it. And it's very likely that it will, so I'm not at all worried about that at the very least. But, yeah, I think I have nothing else to say, so let's just get on with the show proper. It's actually pretty interesting that we are going to probably get secondary main characters out of the Lizardmen tribe. Not only because Lizardmen are usually pretty goddamn rare, but also because it takes focus away from the actual titular Overlord. So it's pretty interesting that way. It's pretty hilarious to hear them. It's fourth tier. That caster must be extremely powerful. Meanwhile, Ainz is casually casting 9th level spells. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. I actually like that the Lizardmen are at the very least very civilized, at the very least in the way that in the manner that they speak, and they are acting very civilized as well. So instead of them being a very tribal nation, or tribal species, it's at the very least good to see some intellect coming out of someone other than just Ainz. It's actually also, yeah, I'm gonna use that opening quite a bit, but it's pretty nice to get a little more information, although this is just a very heavy exposition dump, so it's at the very least kind of hard to swallow it all down. I wonder if it even has any real significance, to be honest, so whatever, it's exposition. I actually... Wow. I need to learn something other than that. I wonder exactly how much this season will focus on the Lizardmen, because I was warned that there will be a lot of focus on them, so that would be... Well, I don't actually have an opinion about that yet. We'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. Is that a goddamn Hydra? That is... That... I wanted to see some mystical creatures, and that certainly is one of them. That is pretty fulfilling, actually. Well, that penguin certainly is really goddamn adorable. I really like penguins, so it's kind of fun to see some comedy with it, associated with it. And it's actually pretty good to have, from that all the serious talk that we had now, and to have something a little bit more lighthearted. Once again, something good that the show does is the contrast between scenes, that they create difference in kind, and that certainly makes it a lot more refreshing. That is quite the unique appearance, I must say. I wonder what that could be called, like an albino or something. That is very unique. It is pretty interesting. Yeah.
いいえ、私はレッドアイ族の族長代理を務めさせていただいているクルシュルールーです。それで今回こちらに来られた理由をお尋ねしても。
結婚してくれ。
Okay, so he just fell immediately in love. That's... Oh, God. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. It's... Okay, that's funny.
突然なんでですか。
Well, at the very least, it isn't the meeting isn't being that serious. That is kind of good. These things could be really kind of heavy with politics, but instead it's being kind of a lot more lighthearted. So that's kind of good. I think it's good to keep it light and refreshing.
一目惚れというやつだ。それに今回の
混乱から心を守ることができるのはこの部族では私だけです。
Well, that's a little bit more of D&D exposition once again. It's good to see that the show still wants to keep this as D&D like heavy as it can be without being too overbearing with it and going over the board with it. It's kind of nice that it still keeps those features in, at the very least to some extent.
レッドアイ族はそこに救いが
ありませんよ。救いなんか。
I have a bad feeling that it was cannibalism. They survived by cannibalism. I'm pretty sure that that's the answer. That would be pretty goddamn gruesome.
ありません。私たちが行ったのは同族軍。
Called it! That's not funny.
死んだ仲間を食らったのですよ。行動していた族長だったのではないか。その思いが消えないのです。
That's a pretty goddamn grim story. First they enacted cannibalism, and after they enacted cannibalism, their only way of surviving was by killing one another and having reduced their numbers enough. That's a story full of just tragedy and sadness and just, I would say, human condition, but, you know, lizard folk condition. It's pretty goddamn it's unfortunate to say the least.
もらうぞクルシュ。
了解したわザリウス。任せてちょうだい。
There's quite a number of politics still in the game, and I quite like it. Like the amount of politics that is still involved in the series, and it certainly makes it very interesting to follow. And because it's still rather simple to follow, it's kind of condensed in a very simplistic form that is easy to follow and makes it clear in my mind at the very least. But it certainly is pretty well, it is kind of dialogue heavy, which is understandable. They need to build up these things, but it kind of makes the series it's a build up. It's build up, so it could really just make for a really good difference in kind for later episodes where we actually get to see more spellcasting and battles and such.
そしてこれが電位系のスクロールと。
剣を取りな。
Oh, okay. Well, that certainly is interesting. So, this episode focused very heavily on the Lizardmen tribe, or the tribes rather, which I am rather indifferent about currently, and I have been warned that this season will focus quite a bit on the Lizardmen tribe, which is neither good nor bad currently, but we'll see in the future episodes that what I feel about it, because it will be interesting to see whether this will continue to be so politics heavy as this episode was. Well, it wasn't that politics heavy, but it still had some not interspecies, but intercharacteral politics, and that it was fine enough to follow, and it's certainly kind of entertaining for me at the very least. I liked some intercharacteral interactions, so character interactions, and that's kind of nice. But it certainly is not as entertaining as battles and spellcasting and might and magic is. So, but isn't too bad, and it works as a build-up, so it serves its function rather well. And later on, when we actually do get to battles, which we will hopefully in the next episode, in the very beginning of the next episode, at the very least, that's what the episode ending kind of hints at. If we get to see a battle later on, rather when we get to see a battle, it's going to be really interesting, and it's going to be a really good difference in kind. So this kind of build-up, once again, works wonders for that. And this is something that the show really has done quite well, and that is that it serves very well. It does episodes and even scenes in the episodes. They are very different in kind, and they are refreshingly different from one another. So yeah, they create quite good contrast, and that keeps the episodes kind of fresh, and it keeps the scenes kind of fresh, and it keeps the story moving along without, even though it kind of changes the mood, that changing the mood creates for a better pacing, I would say. But yeah, it's a fine enough of an episode. It isn't anything too interesting or special or entertaining, but it is an intermediary episode, so yeah. That being said, I thank you all very much for watching. I'll hope to see you in the future. Have a great day and stay awesome. Ganmu out. Thank you all very much for watching.